A very good morning and welcome back to another daily market outlook. So we're going to be analyzing all the major dollar pairs and of course gold. So EURUSD saw a push in towards the downside on Friday, which was in line with the overall expectation that we had. So remember that I marked out the overall fractal high over here, with this being the fractal low. So Friday morning we were looking for a short in towards the downside, but we were trading over here, and as we can see we sold off beautifully in towards the downside as we respected the overall fractal high and broke again the fractal low and saw the market push back down in towards this area of 4-hour demand. So now that we're in 4-hour demand, we can see the market has started to retrace. And looking at the overall fractal structure, this was a fractal low over here, and the fractal high which broke this fractal low was the high over here. So this morning we broke this fractal high, indicating to me that at the moment we are seeing bullish momentum come into the market. So what I'm looking at is a potential pullback trade here on EURUSD for the day / week ahead. We have a lot of liquidity being built up above this high over here, and for the rest we have a fresh area of supply over here. So what I'm looking for is actually just a very nice trade back up higher in towards this area of supply first of all, and then second of all we also have a second fresh area of supply over here. So we have two supply zones, number 1 and number 2, looking for a potential pullback trade into both of them for this week, and then depending on how we react in there, will we be able to take a short once again potentially. But for now I am looking at EURUSD longs, especially after a 4-hour BOS. Then we come in towards higher time frame demand, and then we see a change of character. So for me, the stars are starting to align. Now looking at the daily time frame, the daily obviously tapped here in towards bullish structure. Overall, the daily is still bullish. As we can see, push up, pull back, push up, pull back, push up, pull back, push up. And this was just actually kind of like a very well expected overall pullback. So this is our main area of demand, I would say, with this being, let's say, demand zone number 1, and then we have down below over here demand zone number 2. So what I'm looking for is to understand if we are going to be pulling back up higher from demand zone number 1, or if we're going to push down even lower towards demand zone number 2. But for now, demand zone number 1 seems strong. So let's see if we can get a push up higher, back up in towards this overall area of supply over here, because if we just extend this supply zone as well, those 4-hour areas of supply are also daily areas of supply, with this again being supply zone number 1, this being supply zone number 2. As long as the high of that bullish candle over here is respected, we should continue down lower, as that is the overall daily order flow / daily fractal structure. Okay, so that is EURUSD for you in a nutshell. Not very interested in shorts for now. As we can see, we did time last week's shorts to absolute perfection. If you watch back Friday's video, you can very clearly see that we got a 1 break, then a double break over here. So a double break on EURUSD on the 15-minute time frame, which played out beautifully. Now 15-minute is still bearish, just keep that in mind. This over here is our swing high, and this over here is our swing low. So this was one big impulse down. And now obviously it is making sense that we're going to start pushing up higher with, for example, a lot of liquidity resting above this high, and still some fresh areas of supply over here up top. So yeah, overall just looking for a long for now, not very interested in any shorts due to the fact that we are still resting in higher time frame areas of demand. Now going in towards the dollar index, the dollar index is of course also always interesting to look at. What we can see over here is that on the daily time frame, we've now seen 3 bullish candles after each other, and we've also seen a daily fractal change. So we broke the daily fractal high over here, and this daily fractal high was part of this area of supply, right? So nothing much for now, just looking to see if we can get an even higher push in towards this overall order flow on the daily, right? So this overall buy before that big sell-off in towards downside, and after a fractal change in structure, that could very well happen. So yeah, that's what I'm looking at on the dollar index. But obviously, we'll have to look at the pairs themselves individually as well. So going in towards AUDUSD. AUDUSD is an interesting one because I've always mentioned, and especially last week, I'm not interested in any potential shorts until we see a change in the fractal structure. Now, if you look at where we currently are, we're in an old area of daily supply. So we still have potential to push down lower. This is, let's say, a daily swing high. You can kind of see that upside rejection over here, right? So now looking at the individual candlesticks here on the daily, what can we see? Well, we've now seen a daily fractal change in structure. So this was a bullish fractal high break, and then what was the fractal low which broke that high? Well, that was the low of this bullish candle over here. And as you can see, we've now broken that low, okay? So what you're actually now seeing is that on an individual candlestick, we're now breaking structure. So what you're seeing is a push up, a pullback, a push up again, and now a break over here of the low, and now we're starting to pull back in towards this overall buy before the sell, which is acting as your daily supply zone. Now, I don't like selling from this daily supply zone just yet. Why is that? Because we just only have a single break and we just pushed in towards fresh daily demand. So what I'm going to be waiting for is just a double break here to validate that this was an area of supply, and then try and sell with momentum further in towards the downside, because otherwise I would just see this more as a liquidity sweep of the low. Especially if you go in towards the 4-hour time frame, you can very clearly see that we just had a liquidity low resting over here, and this could just be a liquidity sweep to fuel a further move in towards the upside. Okay, so we want to validate that this is a genuine break, and we want to see a double break, and that is when I'll be interested in further shorts. So not yet shorting from this area of supply. I hope that makes sense. If you have any questions, make sure to join Discord, link in the description down below. Now going in towards pound dollar. So pound dollar was actually the best pair last week, especially on Friday. As you guys can see, I did a full trade breakdown inside Discord in the market updates channel, so you can check that out. As you can see, around 12.7k here on GBPUSD sells, and I broke them actually down in last week's market outlook as well. So remember what we were talking about, where we saw a double break here. So this was the first fractal break, this was the second one. So the overall momentum definitely shift from a bullish market into a bearish market, right? So we see push up, pull back, push up, then we start pushing down with the double break, and then from here I'm still interested to look to a short in towards 4-hour demand zone. So what we saw last week was that we had, let's say, this overall fractal structure over here. Price rejected that 618 fib retracement, and from there we sold off beautifully in towards the downside. So all along we were looking for shorts, going towards the 15-minute time frame, and then what we could see is that we very beautifully liquidated this initial high. We also had this high and of course this supply zone, but if the bearish momentum is high, we don't necessarily have to pull back that high. So what I was looking for is that after we liquidated this area of supply, I was looking for a double break. So over here we had the first break of fractal structure, and after that I was happy to sell on the low break of the second low, with my stop loss above that supply zone, targeting of course a new lower low. So a beautiful overall setup there on GBPUSD. If you want to see the full trade breakdown, make sure to join Discord. But for now, what we're seeing is a pullback that we're looking to trade on GBPUSD, because we've seen a 15-minute BOS over here on this low, and obviously at the moment this is your swing high, this is your swing low. We have liquidity above this high, and we have supply over here. So for me it makes a lot of sense that GBPUSD, especially on this Monday, is going to start pushing up higher. Going towards the 4-hour time frame, what can we see over there? Well, the 4-hour is inside demand, so again it makes sense for GBPUSD to start pushing up higher. What I'll be looking at is definitely how we come into the highs. This at the moment is your fractal high, this is your fractal low. As long as this overall order flow is respected, we should continue down lower ultimately, right? So looking at this, we have this as a 4-hour supply, so we're actually already nearing 4-hour supply. The thing I don't like about GU is that this fresh. Let's just zoom in real quick. If we draw it from the wick to the wick, yes, it is still fresh, sorry. So we have a fresh area of 4-hour supply over here, which I'm looking to trade into. So just waiting for that on GBPUSD, to be honest, and that will be the decisional zone from where we're either going to continue down lower or push up higher. So yeah, looking for that on GBPUSD, but there is still potential for some more room in towards downside. But let's see how we open this week and if there's any bullish momentum or if we're going to see more bearish momentum. But this for now is just your decisional zone, trading in between this supply zone and of course this demand zone, which is now holding. Going in towards NZDUSD. NZDUSD here on the daily time frame is still bullish, not yet looking for shorts as opposed to the other ones. If we just focus on the fractal structure very quickly, you can very clearly see this was the initial fractal break, another fractal break. This is still our fractal low, so the low of this bearish candle here. This is your fractal high. So we're now just inside this area of daily fractal demand. So as long as we do not break this low over here of this bearish candle, I am not yet looking for those shorts. Once we break that, then I will be looking for a short. Go in towards the 4-hour time frame, and what you'll then see is that that pretty much makes a lot of sense. Because if we look at the 4-hour, then you can very clearly see push up, pull back, push up, pull back, push up, and we're just making a pullback. So we still have potential to continue up higher. But yeah, let's just focus on breaking that daily low, and then we'll see if the 4-hour momentum shifts, because then I definitely do see potential for a push back in towards here. But then we would still need to see some momentum kick in, and not just this be a liquidity swipe and then a reversal up. Again, a double break after this low break here on the daily and on the 4 hour. That is what I'll be looking for. Going in towards our last pair, which is gold. So gold itself has been moving down lower. Obviously, we are ranging pretty heavily. Not focusing too much on the daily. We'll just focus on the 4 hour for today. So on the 4 hour, what we can see is that we've been ranging from this high in towards, let's say, this low over here. Now, we have a range trading tool where we look at the 75 and the 25% mark. And what you can see is that the 75% mark acted as your perfect area of resistance once again. And the 25% mark is a very nice support level. So what I'm looking to see is if the bearish momentum here is going to continue on the 4 hour. For now, break of the fractal low. This is your fractal high. This is your fractal low. So it does make sense for for gold, excuse me, to continue down lower. Also, it makes sense with the 50-minute trend. So we can see very clearly here that this is your 50-minute area of supply. What I'm now looking to see is that if we can break this low and then continue with momentum down lower, then I might be looking for a gold short, and I'll be looking for a gold short back down in towards this 4 hour area of demand. So that's what I'm looking for over here, a potential sell-off in towards the 4 hour area of demand underneath this liquidity low, as this 4 hour area of demand is still untouched, slash unmitigated, whatever you want to call it. So yeah, that's what I'm looking for on gold. But if we do break this 4 hour high, then I do again see potential for some higher prices, for example, back up in towards here. And then again, we'll look, okay, do we get a bearish reaction inside of that supply zone? Then we can look for a short. Do we not see anything bearish at all? Then we could just continue moving up higher in towards a new all-time high. So that's it for today, guys. Thanks so much for tuning in. Wish you a fantastic trading day, and we'll speak inside Discord. Thanks.